Hey, what's up, Flo Nation? Joshua Christensen here, the architect.
Wes Browder, the doc.
We're here bringing you live to Get In The Flo. Today, we're going to be doing how to turn fun into profit with with Roger, the Rook Peters.
Yes.
And we're excited to have him here. His business we're going to be showcasing today is called Epic Sages. And, Roger is a 29-year-old Army vet, father of two, and he's co-owner of Epic Sages. He excels in creative improv, so we're really looking forward to it. You're gonna have to bring it here, Roger. All right. He's constantly learning new skills to improve Epic Sages, and it's the quintessential storytellers and crafters platform. So Epic Sages is basically it's a TTRPG. If you don't know what that means, I didn't, and so Roger's going to school us on that. It's tabletop role-playing games. All right, it's hosting site with a community focus and offers a wide range of, okay, get this, for all of my nerds out there, this is a nerd adjacent entertainment and services to improv the gaming experience. We control the board and you control the action. So we're going to bring it to you, Roger. We appreciate you being on the show. It's our honor to have you. And I think Wes has our first question for you.
Absolutely, man. Again, I can't echo it enough. Thank you so much for being on the show. First and foremost, we kind of want you to just tell us about you, your business, how you got started, and then a little bit more into that on like your exposure. I know I've heard something about a funnel and how you're doing it in a small town. Like all of those things are incredible. Tell us more, my friend.
Okay, so start with how we started. So Epic Sages was originally called Apprentice Hero Helpers. It was named after our three original founders. Shortly after we started the business, we lost the founder off the bat, and had to push forward from there. Me and my business partner, Younger Hill, have been working things every day. Small time, pushing stuff through, doing games, making display videos, crafting content, learning how to do subscriptions, all the online stuff, because he was in the Army for the first year of our business and recently just got out himself. So he's now around to help me more. Wahaha. And we've just been pushing it forward from there and figuring out what we do well and how to make money better than what we've been doing before, right?
Awesome.
As for exposure for us, our biggest thing that we've done so far was be on the blocks on season 4.
Other than that,
it was. So we were pretty excited about that. And we had a great time, met a whole bunch of great people, joined the community that you guys are both in as well. So that was exciting to say the least. And it's been nothing but positive from there. So a lot of our growth and business learning has actually come from those groups and people being willing to reach out and help and give suggestions. We are a unique business, to say the least. So lots of people don't have cookie cutter solutions for us, but we're figuring them out for ourselves. We've encountered quite a bit of drawbacks and pushbacks that we've been able to solve and been able to push out for other people that are trying to do similar things.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask a couple more questions. I can probably give more direct answers.
No, yeah, absolutely. So what's it like? Okay, so you had mentioned that you're in a small town, right?
Yes.
And anytime you're starting a business in a small town, I'm sure there's a lot of our viewers that are kind of in that place and they don't feel like their business could ever take off in a small town. So how do you deal with those challenges? What's that like?
So we are based out of Fairbanks, Alaska, which is where I live, right? Our business location is my house.
Okay.
But
dogs and kids, right?
Dogs and kids everywhere. It's great. So with our solution has just been to not be hometown people, right? We do stuff in our hometown, but we're nationwide. We've made our business where it's online and in person, so we can go anywhere in the world at any time to connect you with friends, family, whatever you want. So we remove the need to be niched in a hometown. Now, do we go to events and local stuff and all that fun stuff and collab with local businesses? Yes. It's something we're learning how to do. We're in that cold call stage where we're just like reaching out to people, be like, hey, I know you know nothing about us, but come talk to us, see what we can do. And funny enough, when people answer, we have good connections generally. One of the things that we're talking about doing this next summer is going with a food truck. It's a wings truck. A good friend of mine that I met through another entrepreneurial course is going to do wings, and we're going to do wings and games. So he'll be cooking wings.
Wings
we'll be
and games.
Yeah, so we'll be on a little tent on the outside of his truck, wherever the heck he's parked up, and be playing games while he's cooking people their food.
Oh, that's cool.
At least that's
Now,
we're
are you
gonna try
guys,
that.
are you
So
guys doing, does that model come with a, like a revenue share model?
so I think at this point we're gonna split it. So like whatever he sells, and if people come over and play games on the game side, it probably won't even cost any money. It'll just be for fundsy and promotion, so they come back for our other products.
Okay.
I mean, worst
Okay.
comes to worst, I'll bring some dice along and sell those.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you know,
That's another part of the. Oops, sorry, that's another part of our business that we've super recently got into is physical items.
Okay.
We were pretty much all digital maps, models, pictures, characters, blah blah blah, consultation services, that kind of thing. All digital, nothing physical. We switched to physical products that are doing stuff that way as well.
So the idea of like tabletop role-playing games. So what are some examples of the games that you play? What are some of the names of the games that you play?
All right, so big names. We got Pathfinder, Starfinder, D&D, so Dungeons and Dragons. Personally, I like stuff like Blades in the Dark, Lancer. We pretty much will play anything you want us to. One of our side notes is if you have a system you want us to run and we don't own it, as long as you guarantee you'll play a game with us, we'll buy a system and learn it and then teach it to you.
oh wow, I
So
love that.
our specialty is we do everything because we can.
Good. Good. I think it's so interesting you guys are out and about in Alaska. I would have never imagined that. I mean, maybe because of the beard and everything like that, but it's so cool that you can have that approach from such a far distance away and you're trying to make that applicable. It's not just for people that are local with you. And so, you know, one thing that as we're talking, one thing that I'm thinking is a market. What does your market look like? And for me, I just got into D&D. I've been mostly a sports guy all my life, but D&D is like, it's cool, man. What
It
are
is
you
cool now,
going
right?
in? Is that a part of your exposure kind of component, is exposing that to people like noobs like me that
Yes.
don't know?
So we love teaching new people. Our premise is teaching people how to play better, whether you're a GM or a new player. Besides the fun that you have with it, just getting people involved and getting them through that. Oh, math is hard for playing for 4 hours. They're sitting down and doing something for 4 hours straight. Never easy when you first start. Our approaches make it as fun as possible, and we walk away with a new experience. It's an addiction after the first session, we promise.
I agree. That's my own personal scenario myself.
So it's an addiction. This is kind of an important question, but has Alaska allowed passed any laws around recreational use of these addictive games that you're playing?
No,
Okay.
no good, no bad. We're good to go.
I love that, man. I love that. Well, you know what? Can you dig in a little bit deeper, kind of on your passion, your big why? What drives you? What drives? I know you said your business partner. Just a little bit about that.
So the why we do what we do, because at this point, you know, it's mostly it's a fun model for the most part, right? I do it because I love the storytelling aspects. It's something that just allows me to be me in whatever situation I need to be. It gets me a community that I can rally behind / hang out with and be supportive of people. You know, you join our community, you're going to be fast friends with just about anyone in there.
Nice.
You know, there's always yahoos that cause havoc, but it's not super apparent in our community, right? Most people get along for the most part, which has been a really relatively nice experience. So yeah,
That's cool. So, okay, so like a lot of our viewers they're learning how to take something that they love to do and turn it into a business. And I think one of the burning questions that comes up is, how do you take this thing that is fun for you and how do you turn that into profit? So how long have you been in business, and are you in the stage now where you're profitable? Are you taking a salary yet?
So we are not at this point. So we've been in for about 2 years, right?
Okay.
And we are still in the building stages, right? We're still getting that exposure. We talked about the funnel issue, right? Is we still need to cast that net to where we need to get people in to do stuff. There are people that have similar stuff that they're doing that are all by themselves that just like run games. That's all they do to pay themselves, right? We're not quite at that stage yet because we have 4 billion other things that we're running and doing behind it. So it's more than just storytelling. It is also all the other fun stuff that comes with it. But we just did an event this last weekend, literally yesterday, day before, and had record sales both days.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Again, switching over to those physical products completely changed how we can, push forward with things, with how we're doing stuff. So, we're learning and growing, and that's probably the biggest part of it. Is I'm not necessarily someone that thought I'd be selling dice like crazy, but I do now. You know what I mean? And it's still attached to my passion. Right? You can be adjacent to what you wanted to do and still be able to make money. And don't be afraid to take those steps to jump over to those things that could make you money, right? One of our things with the dice and other physical stuff that we're like, man, we're not really sure about, this is what we want to do, is because most of the people in our industry, we feel, are relatively overpriced for what they're selling, right? We know how much they're paying now that we're in the loop, and we undersell them. We're way better priced than basically everyone, including Amazon.
Okay.
So for the most part, we have shipping to deal with. So you get heavy dice, your shipping is going to be terrible.
Sure.
That's besides the point.
Yeah.
But that was one of our things holding us back, is we were like, we don't want to be the only people doing it this way, because then we're either going to look bad in the community because we're messing up other people's businesses, and or we're going to be participating in something that we're not super comfortable in. And then we decided to just push forward in our own way, do it the way we want it. If we're going to be an example, we're going to be an example. Awesome. And so far, it's working well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think you have a question, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I was going to say, again, you said you're 2 years in.
2 years.
I'm sure, Josh and I both, it feels like we've barely been doing this, and we already have some things that we would have done a little bit differently.
Yeah, because we started in January, so we've barely been doing this.
Yeah, a little bit of time. Tell us a little bit about maybe one or two things of how you would have done them differently, or things that you've learned in the process of how you could create more efficiency, if you have any off the top of your head.
So I honestly don't have a lot of, we would have done things differently, because we're completely charting new waters. What we're doing is new and different than anything in the industry. There's one other company that kind of does what we do and has a much bigger scale than what we do it at, but they take a very detached approach and are more of a servicing platform for other creators. Whereas anyone that works with us is our people. We've certified them, we've verified them. They go through a process to do so, to become our DMs, things like that.
Wow.
And everything we make is personalized for our clients, right? So we'll build a world from scratch for you. We do modules and things like that, but only when the client requests, hey, I want to play a Curse of Strahd or something like that, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Otherwise, we build homebrew / lore specifically to your characters, your campaigns, your families, your friends, just your guys' story, right? Top to bottom,
cool.
As much as you want to play with us. And eventually, we like to say it's a terrible business model, because you go from playing with us for 5 to 10 sessions, and you're like, hey, I think I can run this world. I have all the notes on it. We can just keep playing. And we go, take the world and have fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, so this is kind of an interesting segue. When you are transitioning from this thing that you love, this business it's really not a business. It's just this, you love playing this game. And I know a lot of
I would say I would have to correct you there. Games, there's a whole bunch of
games.
Yeah, they're very different when you go through them. Yeah, they are.
Right.
They're very different between most systems.
Sure. But but the idea there is that you're transitioning from turning what you love to do into a business. So what is that transition from, like, running a business versus just kind of having friends over to play? You're the dungeon master for D&D on Friday nights.
Gotcha.
How do you go from hobby to business?
So, as a side note, I still do the old version where you hang out with your friends on Friday nights and play games. We still have time for that, right?
Yeah.
I obviously, as a business owner, I don't charge my friends to play games with me. I mean, that's still a personal level that we do stuff with, right? But you just have to step out of that boundary, right? You got to step beyond your friends group when you're searching for those clientele people to talk to. One of those things you get told is get ready for 1,000 no's, because sometimes you get a yes.
Absolutely.
And that keeps you on your toes, right? Because you're never knowing when you're going to get said yes, and that yes can change everything that you do, right?
Right.
We go back to the talking about the blocks, right? gonna apply for a couple things, see what happens, and immediately get a response. Boom. Hey, you're in. Come on. Let's see how it goes.
Hey.
There's my yes. All right, let's try it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Okay. So we, again, being FloVestor, we have to at least ask like a money-based question.
Sure.
And so a big thing that we kind of want to see a little bit more in depth in is there something about like handling money or kind of the financial components of this process that you wish you knew sooner or that you've learned in the process? Like, talk to us a little bit of money, as much as that is kind of labeled a taboo thing. Like, that's what we're here to open up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we've been relatively open with how we accept cashes, trades, things like that across the board since we started. So cash itself hasn't been a big problem because we make it as easy as possible for people to pay us.
It's a good
But
thing.
yeah, right, exactly. We had to do taxes this last year for the first time, which was exciting.
Yeah. Cool.
Going with K1s and figuring out all that ahead of time.
So for anybody that's listening, explain what a K1 is.
So a K1 specifically is for a partnership business. So when you have two people in a business and like our business is is owned by a corporation, right? The Apprentice Hero Helpers LLC is our corporation that we run, kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. So we have a little bit of protection in case something crazy happens.
Sure.
But since we're the owners of that corporation, me and Younger split it pretty much 50-50. I think it's 51-49 or something silly, but whatever. But this year we had to fill that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the taxes stuff. And
Yeah.
the K1 basically just breaks down your would-be normal taxes for the partners, splits it up evenly, so on and so forth, depending on your percentage.
So is this something that you were born knowing how to do?
Well, thank goodness for TurboTax.
And there is no sponsorship involved for
Yeah, right.
We're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
being paid. There's no affiliation.
There could be. Come on, TurboTax. We
Come
need
on.
it.
Maybe we'll talk to him. We'll talk to him.
Right.
But no, and I did taxes years ago, but the wife took it over shortly after we got married, kind of thing. She's a very smart lady. Look my wife in over here.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, so this is the first year I've done taxes for something for me in nearly 9-10 years. So that was a fun experience.
That's good. Yeah, it's a fun one. All right, so if we're kind of coming in for a landing here. So what's give me a last minute tip for anybody that if you had a chance to encourage them or to inspire them to chase their dream, what would you tell them?
I'd say go for it. Worst comes to worst, you fall down. If you're a real entrepreneur or business owner, you'll pick yourself up and try something new.
Okay, good. That's a great tip. That's a great tip.
That's huge.
All right.
Huge.
Last question.
Last question.
Last question. This is a big one.
What is your experience with this FloVestor podcast / Zoom meeting? Would you be back? And would you tell your friends about it, my friend?
Ooh.
Yeah, totally. But the catch-22 or whatever you want to call it, the catch-22 is you guys have to come on my podcast first.
Oh, we have to do what's that?
You guys have to come on our podcast first.
Oh, we got to come on yours. That's right. Yeah, we were talking about
You're
that.
not pulling our arm at all, man. We would be honored to do so.
Okay.
Well, we'll be happy to have you. You guys get to
That's
see a little
awesome.
bit more of the personal experience and
Yeah,
see some of our community silliness.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Any favorite books that you've read recently that you'd like to share?
Recently, no.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have. I mean, besides TTRPG modules and systems and things like that, I don't have time for other books. I get to read very often.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Because again, it's different cultures, different people. They have different things. We figured, you might inspire us to read a crazy book out of our norm. And I'm sure you could blow our mind with a lot of these other games that you were talking about. Me, I'm only familiar with D&D, so certain things like that. But I think again, kind of in the final closing minutes, I want to talk about things that I would implement right away with you and with your business. I'm ready to go tell my friends like today who are dungeon masters who got me into games like this, but I can tell already it's like they would love something more passive. It's hard to create a game with your friends and do that. And I already seeing them like lighting up with this, you know, buying into you and having kind of more of a passive approach and having fun and doing new things and having a different like idea and someone else kind of input into that. So I think this is awesome, man. I love it.
It is. So Rook, how do people find you? Where is Epic Sages?
We are everywhere, literally. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, our podcasts that are on basically every podcast platform. If you search Epic Sages, you should be able to find us at this point. Our SEO better be good. We have our own website that's epicsages.com. You can go there. All the links are there. If you want to look us up on our link tree, is linktree/Epic Sages. You can find all of our fun stuff pretty much attached on there. But we are just about everywhere that you guys can think of. One of our big strategies that we used off at the beginning was just jump into everything. So like I had to learn how to do Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok with the business. So
wow,
that's been fun.
Well, I tell you what, we will make sure that in the description below for all those you guys that are watching, man, go have some fun with Roger and Epic Sages. These guys they're going to bring the adventure to you. You're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
So in the description below down here, you'll be able to link out to him, find their company, learn more about what they're doing, and just have some fun.
Yes.
I mean, just have a lot of fun. This has been a fantastic interview. Roger, thank you so much for being with us. We're honored that you took the time this morning to share with us. I know you're a couple hours behind us, so you had to go back to military time this morning, and we appreciate that. And so that's all we've got for you today, Flo Nation. Now it's your turn. It's time to get in the flow. Remember to subscribe below and click to join our movement here on Facebook. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys. Roger, thanks again, man.